Danielle Barrett.
Esther Sotelo.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
So can you describe your profession?
I'm an accounting specialist for the Archdiocese in San Antonio. I work in the business office.
Cool. Where were you when you were my age? And how did you get from there to where you are today?
At your age, I was probably a sophomore at Pleasanton High School, on my way to be the first of my family to be an Honor Society graduate. Although the class was not as large as y'all's class, but nonetheless, top 10% is top 10%. And how did I get to where I am today? A lot of bumps on the head and a lot of hard work.
When you were growing up, did you have any interests that you have built into your work?
I've always had an interest in money, not spending, but accounting it. Accountability has always been an interest of mine. Treasury work, I was the treasurer of my class for a couple of years. So that kind of, accountability and money handling, it built on my interest.
Were you ever lost?
Yes.
Can you describe it?
Lost.
Did you ever not know what your road was going to be like? What your road to success was going to be
I think we have an idea of what we want our road to success to be. Unfortunately, some of the choices that we make in life change our course. So some of the choices that I made were not my original choices, and therefore my road, my journey has been remapped several times. So although I've been lost, my faith and my perseverance has guided me to get back on track.
That's good to hear. When did the light bulb go on, and when did you realize that accounting was what you wanted to do?
Very young, probably your age. Like I said, I was class treasurer for a couple of years, and I used to help around in bingo at the church. So handling money and being accountable and being trustworthy, that built onto my integrity. So I don't know exactly what age I knew I wanted to work in accounting, but and there's different aspects of accounting. You know, it's not just adding and subtracting, but yeah.
Were there ever pressures from society telling you to be something or do something else in life?
I think the pressures that I can think of about doing something different is a pressure that I had to work in the secular world, not the nonprofit world, to work for the for-profit agencies. I've worked the majority of my life in the nonprofit sector, which is completely different than for-profit companies. So I did have pressure to work to make money.
Right. Okay. So what obstacles have you overcome to get where you are today?
The obstacles that I overcame to get here today, I think the biggest one is that I worked really hard to have my knowledge, to have my experience, and I have many, many years of experience. I can do the work of an accountant. One of my jobs was a CPA, had the job before and didn't fare as well as I did, because I have the knowledge and the skills without a degree. That is my biggest obstacle, because I have to continue to prove myself on a daily basis. And nonetheless, although I can do the work and all, my pay is much less than if I would have had a degree.
What have been the keys to achieving the level of excellence that you've reached in your life?
Perseverance, hard work, integrity, self-motivation, and my faith.
How do you balance your personal and your professional life?
I run around with my kids all day long when I'm not at work. It's either I'm either working at the office or I'm working at home with the kids, and I get to sleep a little.
Describe a typical day in the life of your job.
Of my job, well, I take care of different. I have different responsibilities. I handle all of the aspects of the insurance fund, the billing and maintenance of property. I do the property and liability billing, workman's comp billing, and auto billing. We're self-insured, and so I handle all that, and that's one thing I do. Another thing I do is I serve as the help desk for an accounts receivable module for some of the Catholic schools. So if they have an issue, they have a problem, they call me. I'm their help desk. Say like if you had a problem with Windows XP's no longer, but Windows 7, you would call Microsoft. Well, I'm the help desk for that. And I also help some of the locations. We have over 250 locations, and I am their help desk for Logos, which is our accounting software.
Mm-hmm.
And also on top of all that, I do some, I post onto the General Ledger, which is, it's the accounting term for the book. So I do some internal accounting, what a CPA or an accountant would do.
Oh, okay. So what skills must someone absolutely have to succeed in your field?
What skills? A college degree, a bachelor's in accounting, a BBA would be good. Skills besides that, you have to have patience to deal with the calls that come in, because sometimes they're lost and they need help. They're trying to get something to work out, something to balance. They can't figure it out, so you figure it out for them. So patience. I forgot to mention that I did take on another task, which is just electronically filing background checks. So that's you have to have the capability of confidentiality. When you find yourself working with payroll or with these background checks or whatnot, you're privy to information that you have to keep. You cannot share that with anyone. So you have to have confidentiality. You have to have integrity. You have to be honest, and you have to be patient, very patient.
If someone wants to be you, do you suggest that they follow your footsteps?
No. With that being said, no. It was very difficult for me to get where I am without a college degree. So my suggestion, my recommendation, my plea to you guys is would be to get a college education. It's not easy. It's not easy to work your way up on the ladder without a college education. It's very, very difficult. So that's one thing that I would change. And not that you're not going to have difficulty landing a job, because everybody is getting a degree. So the market for jobs and the applicants that are going for the jobs, it's very, very competitive. But you would help yourself get a job and be more successful in your career of choice if you got a degree. So that's one thing. But the other thing is, that's the only thing I would change. I would definitely ask that, or my advice would be to work really hard. Work really, really hard. And when you're asked to do other tasks that are not in your job description, ask to learn new things. Always say yes. You always learn. You don't stay stagnant, because the next person that's willing to learn and willing to learn something new and is more flexible, that person will move up the ladder, as opposed to that one that sits back and says, I'm sorry, that's not my job.
Right.
Okay.
If you had one piece of advice to give young people getting ready to jump into the real world, what would it be?
Make your choices wisely. As I mentioned before, we all have an idea of what we want, but life happens, and whatever choices you make, whether it's if it's a good choice, you reap the benefits. If it's a bad choice, you suffer the consequences. If it's just not it's not either good or bad, but it's not the best choice, it'll veer you from your path. So choose wisely, and always pray. Pray to God for guidance, that you make the right choices for yourself.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome anytime. Thank you so much.
Nice talking to you.
Same here.